Okay. Redistricting is the process of drawing electoral district boundaries in the United States. A congressional act passed in 1967 requires that representatives be elected from single member districts, except when a state has a single representative, in which case one state wide at large election be held. Basically, a whole bunch of states have representatives and all that, and every once in a while the representatives have an uneven amount of power. Like, one Mississippi is going to have like 5 million people and Texas is going to have 2 million people, and Mississippi might have more power than Texas. So in order to keep every state representative having the same power, they redistrict the states. So in order to keep it similar, whenever they literally just balance out like the members, the representatives, so that's like it coordinates to the population of the states. Basically, they just change the representatives or how many representatives they are, so it's every state is equal. But hold on real quick. It's basically exactly what I said. They literally just changed the amount of representatives per state. And Baker versus So Baker versus Carr was basically Tennessee. Let me just read this first sentence. Tennessee. Republican Baker complained Tennessee's legislature had not drawn updated districts since 1901. Basically, Baker was like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, the districts are unfair, blah, 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 blah. And then after that, the Supreme Court was like, alright, so we're going to require everybody to redistrict properly. Well, I don't really know what happened at the end of the court case. I'll have to read it. Honestly, the way they word it is like confusing. But basically, this is what was I saying? And they was like, after this whole court case, they were like, all right, redistricting is a legit issue. So whenever people say redistricting, we're going to consider it a court case. So basically, somebody was like, hey, this person has more cereal than me. I'm going to sue them. So person A was like, you got more cereal than me, so I'm going to sue person B. So cereal is a legitimate court case. And then Baker was like, hey, this state has more power than this state. This is unfair. We need redistricting to be taken seriously. So now redistricting is seriously. So all in all, Baker versus Carr made redistricting be taken seriously so you can bring it to court. Redistricting is taken to court. Redistricting is taken to court. And that's it. Alright. The passage of broad legislation that leaves the making of specific rules to the executive branch is an example of 25B. Delegated authority. Alright, broad legislation is, another word for it is overbreadth doctrine. Broad legislation, broad legislation, broad legislation, overbreadth doctrine, overbreadth doctrine, overbreadth doctrine. The law's effects are thereby far broader than intended or than the U.S. Constitution permits, and hence the law is overboard. Now let me pause that. Okay. When federal or state laws are challenged in the United States court system for their constitutionality, they may be either challenged based on a facial challenge, challenging the whole of the law or provision in all applications of it, or maybe through as applied challenge for a specific case or certain circumstances. Pause. Okay. Basically, challenge, whatever. Basically, if a law seems like it's completely unfair, you can challenge it. You could be like, this law is completely unfair. If you were walking down the street and like you tripped on a rock and somebody sued you for $500, then you could just be like, yo, this is like completely unfair. Like, I don't like this whole situation whatsoever. And hold up.